Welcome to the online experience.
What is going on, everybody? Peace, love, and light. It is your boy, Joshua October.
What's going on, y'all? It's MoonLander.
I'm Jimmy Levar, and this is the online experience.
Want a place to call home. I'm like, damn, baby, why you gotta be so nice? I tried, I can't, baby. Oh, I'm like, damn, baby, wish I could, but I can't be your man, baby.
Welcome. You gotta give a round of applause, my brother. Thank you for joining us, man. How's your day going so far, man? How's everything been for you?
Hey, the birds are chirping and the sun's out. You can't be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to be blessed for another day.
Absolutely.
I'm liking this jacket. What we got right here, man?
Honestly, this was something that I came across at a thrift shop. I'm a big thrifter. And this was something vintage. It caught my eye. I was like, ooh, I gotta snag it. Yeah. I gotta snag it. Thank you, brother. All right. So, we're here and, I kind of just want to start off taking it back for you down memory lane real quick, right? So, 13 years old, you started to make music in the 8th grade, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me about your journey and your process, starting off in the beginning, especially that young, right, at that age? For you, what were some of the things that kind of inspired you to create that music and started to, grasp more towards that musical aspect of things?
Yeah, so it's weird. I mean, obviously, I feel like some people were born singers. You know what I'm saying? I knew guys when we're like 3 years old and they're just like, ah, and you're like, dang, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God bless y'all, man. So I think at the start of anything, I was like, oh, I'm definitely not a singer because I was not born like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I didn't know that, your throat is like a muscle. It's kind of like working out. You got to work it,
Mm-hmm.
But I remember like I was obsessed with music and just like always had to have like my CD player, like was so obsessed with iPod Nanos, like having all the cover art matching because, I illegally downloaded it, LimeWire.
Right.
LimeWire this.
I used to hate like you would download something from LimeWire and like the weirdest cover art would be on there and it would make me like cringe. So I would have to like Google, try to find the cover art, make it look like flawless. I was so into the art of like seeing the picture with the song to me that like made it. But I remember there's a couple things I remember, but one time I was in the shower. I used to always use my mom's shower because she had the biggest shower, So I remember one time I was singing, she was like, "You can sing, honey." And I'm like, "Don't do that, Mom." Like, no, I can't. That's just like mom saying you can do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I remember "Smack That" by Akon was like it was the song for me because like it was like the perfect mixture of like the singing of Akon and the rapping of Eminem, and I was like, that's what I love. I love hearing a rap with that pop. Like I love that sound.
Mm-hmm.
I had one of my best friends. We were in 8th grade. We were all just having like a sleepover at my crib. He already made music at the time, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with the song. It's called "I Hate College." Asheroth.
Oh yeah,
college.
He like he remixed it, and we're in middle school. He did a remix. He's like, "I hate middle school," and I remember like he dropped it, and the whole middle school was like, no one did music at the time, so he was the only person like doing music. And everyone was like, "Oh my god, like so cool!" And I was like, "God, that is cool." And I still remember like on YouTube his cover art that he made probably on like Microsoft Paint, like it looked like stupid. But he came over and he brought his mic. He's like, "Y'all trying to hit something?" And it was me and my other friend were like, "Hell yeah!" Like I'm sure anyone that hasn't done music, there's been a time whether you're drunk or just silly with your friend or something where you like start freestyling or make a song or whatever. So we hopped on the song. We did like a Kanye West remix to the In Paris song, and we called it Kids in the Park. And we were just like, my boy's like, "That's so crack, that's so crack." Like it was so stupid. And I was spitting some bars. I was like talking about like my name's Lil Pickles and like I'm so clean, like I make the girls giggle, like some weird stuff like that,
Yeah.
Very basic elementary school rhyme. times, but he left my crib that day and I just remember like listening to it on loop. I was just like, oh, like it just itched my brain a little bit, you know? And I was like, I'm making music. So my pops got me like for Christmas, he got me like a $80, mic that goes in the computer. And I just started remixing like every song. I did like Shot for Me by Drake. That was when hot new hip hop and like Daft Punk were big. So people were always dropping like open verses and stuff. So I would take it and I would just like love acting like I was on a song with Lil Wayne or something. I'm like, you could clearly tell the difference in like 5 seconds when I would come on. It was like, oh, like, but at like when I started, obviously I was like atrociously bad. I was like a little white kid that sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks because he didn't go through puberty yet. So at the start, every single person and their mama, just even my own mother, like was like, nah, this is not for you, son. Everyone would like clown me all the time. My whole high school was just like clowning, and I think at that moment I just like a fire built in me where I was like, nah, I want to prove y'all wrong, like so bad. I just loved it so much that you couldn't tell me. Like I was my number one fan. Like when I made something, I'm just like no one's doing it like this. You know what I'm saying? But trust, there a lot were.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But I was gonna say, I find something actually really interesting. Actually, you mentioned like before you really discovered that, like, hey, I'm actually good, and I actually like my music. Your mom was like, hey, you sound good, and then your dad got you like your first like microphone stand, or like your microphone, right? You said it was like an $80 one, right? So my question is like, was there like a particular moment where you felt like really close to one of your parents, like, and can you take us kind of like through that?
So I love both my parents. I think one thing I got to gather early on in my life, which is, as I see for a lot of artists, is harder later on, which they didn't have to do, was I already got like, there was no social media yet. I mean, there was Twitter, but I already like was getting so much hate. Like I used to always get hate. So I almost almost built like this layer of like, that doesn't bother me, So like, it made me want to go harder. And both my parents, I remember one time I had this kid over, we were having a sleepover, and my parents, people, I still do it, but you talk on the speaker the whole time, So they're on speaker and I'm in the other room, they think I'm asleep, and they were just like, what are we going to do about him? Like, this music stuff is just not going to be it. And then my pops is like, I know, it's terrible. Like, my pops is very like a blunt mofo. Like, he'll just say stupid shit all the time. Yeah. He's like, I know he's terrible. And like, I'm just in the other room, I'm like, and again, both of them have helped me in my music career like a ton, but I always like really wanted, they're like, I'm proud of you moment, where I'm like, I want y'all to actually believe in me, not just believe in me because I'm your kid,
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, my mom's a saint, my mom's an angel, the nicest lady to ever walk this earth. But I think as far as music, I kind of took away like any sort of satisfaction I thought or like blessing I needed from someone, because also when I was 14, I went on a mission trip. My mom was like the biggest church, like made us go to church like 4 times a week. So it was like at that time, we're kids, we're like, God, I hate this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to try to, me and my brother used to try to sneak out and shit. But we went on this mission trip and we were just in New York, like helping like some community stuff. But they had a little nighttime Jesus talk, with the whole gang. We were sleeping on like a church on the ground in sleeping bags. They're like, everyone just, go be with God, go be with God. And I didn't even know what that meant. I'm like, because, I used to like pray, but it just felt like I was closing my eyes. I was like, there'd be so many times, be in group prayers, I'd be that kid that's like opening his eyes, like seeing whose eyes weren't closed. Not doing it, but it's really me. But I remember I closed my eyes, and this is the only time this ever happened. Like I like traveled out of my body, like, and basically just brought me to like a place where I saw myself on stage. It was like slow-mo in this huge like auditorium. It was like warm, like yellow lights, and it was just me on stage like dancing, and there was no one in the crowd. There was 0 people in the crowd, and like 20 minutes had went by, but like in the snap of a finger it was like 2 seconds. And I just felt like, one, without that I wouldn't have, like, to me that was like God's co-sign to me, where he was like, this you like it wasn't like a vision I had. It was like legit, like there's no other way. I've never had it on any alcohol or drug I've been on. I've never had an experience like that, and I'm 14, not on any sort of substance, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think that was just like my co-sign from like God, like, yo, yo, this is you. So that's kind of, I just took that, and throughout my whole years of like being bullied all the time and everyone laughing at my songs, I was just like, y'all gonna see, y'all gonna see.
Right, right. Wow. Wow, man. That's something, because it's, kind of just jumping a bit back to, that conversation you was overhearing your parents having. It's like, I know that that's the most important thing for us is to have that, like, that parent's blessing, and it's so important too, that they support and believe, and it's like, we kind of understand it because for them, they may have grown up in a way of there's no way of making a living or career off this, right?
Yeah.
But for us, for you being the creative and the artist, it's like, no, this is the only thing that speaks to my heart and soul, and that's what's so powerful, right? Because sometimes people say you gotta have a plan B, you gotta have a plan B. The parents get, they always put us down that throat, right? But for me, what I've learned also being in the journey of life is, sometimes plan B distracts you from plan A,
Sure.
and when you really put all your energy, time, and your emotion behind plan A, that's the only check off that checklist, and then, for you to even have that vision of the future, you kind of having that out of body experience and kind of, seeing yourself on stage, that vision, that message that was brought to you by the higher source. I think that was so powerful as well right there at that time and point in your life, because that was the extra stamp that you needed to continue to push you towards that perseverance and all the obstacles and challenges that you were facing, as an up and coming artist, and who people, didn't really see what you saw in yourself, and sometimes it's like, okay, cool, you're not seeing the vision, but you're going to see it one way or another, and I think that's awesome, man. I think that's, beautiful and powerful that you never gave up on yourself. You continued your journey and you continue to believe, because it's important that we keep that faith, that knowing that what our calling is, and then look where it brought you at today. Fast forward, you've gone on tours, you've done some great things, and the journey continues for you, right? So my next question for you is through all the negativity, that you've been through and the obstacles and challenges that you face, what are some of the things that you do to kind of cope and deal with some of those situations, and how do you respond to negativity?
Yeah, I think, I'm very spiritual. I'm not really religious. I don't go to church very often. If I'm even going to church, it's basically just in my living room. I'm watching it on TV. But I feel like that's why anytime I have like a feeling, I just rock with it, because I feel like I had that feeling for a reason. And also anytime that I've been like sad or any of that, I feel like something always like pops in. Is like, it's almost like a little like poke on Facebook, like, hey, don't forget this. And there was obviously other times where, I mean, I'm just a person, so where, I can act cool, like that don't bother me, but sometimes stuff bothers us. I remember in high school, I got like 100 shirts. I made 100 shirts, and I just wanted everyone to retweet my mixtape link. So basically, I was like, anyone that retweets this, like, I'm giving you a free shirt. And so like that whole day at school, I'm just like passing out shirts, like, yo, you retweet it. And then later on that day, like some kids, just high school mofos. We were all mean in high school, but they sent me like a pic of them like burning my shirt, and I was just like, fuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Oh, dang. Yeah. It's a little dark.
In the same day, like I saw, I think it's from Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith, but it's just like little stuff that like can be so small but be so impactful to you. And it was like, he just said like, the person that normally says like they will and the one that says they won't are both normally right. And I was just like, and like, it's just like small stuff like that where I was like, I already know the future. I'm not going to stop till I get to the future. And I was like, I don't know. It's just sometimes when I think I've just become so like, I rarely get hate anymore, which is amazing. It's a blessing. Sometimes, I'll get a little TikTok beanie bopper in my stuff saying something stupid, but I always just like show love every time someone hates. I'm like, man, I appreciate it. And every time I do that, they always like, bro, I was just kidding. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always, I think people think like you're not going to respond or something, but I've just always just shown love to it. Sometimes I'll make a joke to it. like this one dude sent me like a long message. Like obviously, it also just shows like you're hurt deep inside you to give out hate. Like if you are on anyone's post and the first thing you think of is like, I'm about to write something mean. Like that's just something deep in you got to figure out. Because never have I wanted to write something be like idiot or whatever it is. You know?
Yeah.
I might have our opinions on stuff. Like I've definitely heard stuff where I'm like, this is funny or this is bad, but I'm not like you suck. But I don't know. I just try. Like one dude sent me like this paragraph, and sometimes I just use it for like social media, like videos and reels. Like I just sent him one time like a long like fart noise. Like he wrote like a whole book to me. He's like your ass, and I just was like, and then I just said appreciate it, bro. And then that's the end of that. You know?
Yeah.
But what'd you say?
Oh no, you're finishing something.
No, I mean, again, I'm blessed. I think I went through the hard stuff. I think there will be a whole nother level when I like truly get on the next level, you know, because then when you get on a level where like everyone's gonna have something to say, no matter what you do.
Right.
I've also learned, I think even more like in the past 2 years, is to really just like love yourself, because when you know yourself, like people right now could tweet and be like, oh, I saw Moon punch his girl. Like I don't have a girl, nor have I ever punched a girl. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
There's nothing I can do to. I know I didn't
Right.
punch a girl.
You have no control of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like anyone at any time, like you see stuff, people can just make anything up, and if it runs, like it runs, and it's. I don't think I saw like obviously the Jack Harlow song where he's like, I don't clear up rumors, and I was like, that's honestly real, because why? There's no need to do that.
Exactly. And honestly, that's a really good perspective to have. You know, it seems like you move with like this optimistic, like positive approach to life, and I think honestly, to have that is very important, especially with the career path that you've chosen, right? And also I noticed that there was like this billboard that you actually got made next to with your image and Post Malone. Can you tell me a bit about the impact that Post Malone has on you, maybe like as a person or through music? Can you explain a little bit about that? Because I found that to be actually really interesting.
I strive to be like Post Malone in one way only, and that's like just being as nice as him, which I know that I'll never do. But any video I see or anything I see, he's just like being the nicest guy ever. And that's like a power in itself, because obviously we get mad sometimes, or we get frustrated and we might say the wrong things. But I did, I don't know if you saw, so basically about the billboards, I started with Young Gravy. I got a billboard for Young Gravy, and I hopped on top of it, and I was like, y'all, if Young Gravy, if the billboard said, let me go on tour with you, but I was like, if Young Gravy responds to this, I'm gonna get his name tattooed on my booty. And the video went viral. He responded to it, and just like Young Gravy would, he's like, nah, you need more than just my name. Like, you need like a picture of me on your ass. And I was like, mofo. So
yeah.
But again, I mean, life's, you only live once, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I really don't care. I think it's funny. So I ended up getting a picture of like, it's basically like me, like half pulling my pants down, and then he's on his knee and he's like signing his name on my ass. So that's on my ass right now currently. But
that's cool.
And then I went on tour with him, and just the most amazing. I got to do. It's called Skyla. It's here in Charlotte, but it's like basically like one venues you can do here. There's only like 2 bigger ones above it, so it's like the 3rd biggest. So that was like a super big like check mark moment for me, because I used to go there as a kid and see shows and be like, I'm gonna be up there. I'm gonna be up there. But the Post Malone thing kind of just came from the Young Gravy one work, so I was like, let's try another one. So I did the Post Malone. And honestly, before I did it, I kind of, again, I feel like I'm becoming like just more evolved in a quicker time than I used to before. Like now, like I can be a whole different person than I was 2 months ago than I am now. Just like the way my mind's changing and stuff. But I kind of set zero on everything I do now. I have zero expectations. I almost like take the hope that I used to always have in everything, because I would drop a song and be like, this is the one, this is the one. And then it was never the one, you know, and it was, and the expectations is what like I feel like kills the creativity, because you're like, then you get discouraged about things. You're like, dang, like I worked so hard because I thought this one was it. I worked so hard. I just went and did this video for 3 hours. I thought that was gonna be it. I thought it just leaves like room to be hurt versus just doing it. And I have zero, like if it happens, it's like, oh snap, dope.
Yeah.
But I did the billboard. It was really more just for marketing for my song that I wrote about my brother that passed. But again, I think it's just part of a different day's story. I didn't hear back from him, but I think the story is yet to be finished, just for a later time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, man. And I think, I think you're right when you say that, just being nice and kind it has a power within itself because, we do carry this energy with us and frequency that we give out just by words. Words are powerful. And they impact people on so many different levels, and you being an artist and putting the rhymes and times into your stories and your music, it speaks volumes and it connects with other individuals who may be going through similar situations and certain things as well. And I think that's a great mindset to have, just continue to give out more peace, in this world and just be kind is a power, So, what's some advice that you would give to an up and coming artist or somebody who is looking to start getting involved into the industry and career field? What's something that you would tell them that you wish maybe somebody kind of told you or kind of gave you some gems along your journey?
Great question, brother. One thing, this has upcoming or not, just if you're an artist, right? Kind of go back to what I kind of just loop in is like so many artists, we have egos. We all have egos, especially as an artist, you have an ego, right? And I'm not gonna say I don't. Obviously, I feel like you have to have an ego in order to like yourself.
For sure, yeah.
But there's a certain extent where you've got to look back and be like, okay, my ego has to go, And so many artists, like we're not taught how to be artists. There's no book on how to be an artist. Right. It's who we look up to is Drake and Cole and people that already made it, people that already have millions, people that already are this and that and this and that. And it's like we're trying to replicate that. And we can't be that because we're not that, right? And I think a lot of people just need to know, like, again, the kindness, like being kind has got me every single thing I've ever received in life. It wasn't, no one came up to me and said, you're the best musician I've ever heard. Like, you got to get on this festival. Like, this song is the best song I ever heard. Like, here's a deal. It's just been relationships, kindness, and also relationships without expectations. Like if me and you are friends, I'm not like, oh, I know Josh gonna get me on this festival up here. That's why I'm boys with him. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, what up with you? And then things just happen. I think a lot of artists feel like we have to compete with each other when we're all different restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we got food, but some days you want pizza, some days you want Thai food. Like, doesn't mean that your pizza's not good.
Right.
But I think a lot of people just need to understand that until you are something huge, that you're nothing. Because when you are huge, you won't have to pretend like you're huge because you're already that. And I think that's why you see a lot of artists like Post Malone. Like, there's nothing in the world he shouldn't do but be nice. Like, he is Post Malone. Like, he doesn't need to prove that he's Post Malone. Like, when he walks around, it's like, it's Post Malone. It's not like, get out of here, bro. Yeah. Like, he's like, what's up with you? So I think a lot of people try to play the role of like being a cool artist, and it's like, oh, I don't look at my DMs. Oh, I don't respond to this. But it's like, we all look at our DMs. Like, right. Artists with every artist I hit, they look at their DMs. They always hit me back. You know what I'm saying? They have millions of followers. Like, I think understand that you're nothing, and that doesn't mean that you're not someone. That doesn't mean you're like a loser. I don't mean it in that way. Obviously, like, I think I'm fucking awesome, but I know when I walk in a room, I'm not like, where's my stuff? Like, I'm just grateful to be in any situation that I'm like in. And also, people have to understand the music world. I think a lot of artists, like, they haven't really been in the world. Like, and I say that just because I've been on so many like big tours with real artists and stuff. And I've seen like people that have like 100 listeners go into a room and be like, y'all ain't gonna give me a sound check? Like, but that's just the name of the game, Like, if it ain't on my headlining show, there was 2 nights I didn't get a sound check. And I was like, I'm not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the name. That's the name of the game. So I think to understand, like, and practice gratitude and just being appreciative of being able to do what you love. And if you can't do that, then you probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's true, man. And like, I think it's very important to have gratitude and like to walk in these rooms and be kind and just authentically be that thing, because you can only naturally attract what you put out. And even if there's situations where you are your authentic self, you are kind, and some negative may come your way, you still somehow manage to persevere like through whatever obstacle it is. And once again, just when people really sit back and truly evaluate like what exactly is important in their lives, they tend to kind of move in a different way. So my next following question is just, with everything that's happening, going on tour, being around like lots of people at once, and how are you finding peace these days?
Uh, I think I just had this talk the other day, but sometimes it's hard because I live in Charlotte, but I live at like 20 minutes out of Charlotte. It's called Kannapolis, and basically like I just live in the woods, right? I just built my brother just built me a house. We live like right by each other. I have like this is my back studio. It's in the backyard and everything, but
Mm.
it's so easy to, and it's one thing again, I think even just this month I really was like on a new wave, but sometimes it's hard to remember that like people listen to you because you see on a screen like, oh, I have 100,000 monthly listeners, but like when I go to the grocery store and I'm just surrounded by like old people, it's not like everyone's like Moon, you know what I'm saying? They're like,
Yeah.
it's a normal day. So
Mhm.
sometimes it's hard to see, you see like a video goes viral and it has 1 million views. It's like, I don't see those 1 million people, but it's like sometimes you get stuck where it's like, I don't know, hard to feel like you're just trapped in your own world, and that's one thing when I get off tour and stuff, almost like it's not like a super deep depression, but like that after tour sadness hits because it's like, I
Mhm.
just went from like having a line of like 200 people waiting to take a picture with me, and then I come here and it's like no one even blinks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh,
Mhm.
I also think maybe that's like a humbling thing too, but
Mhm.
I've found peace recently so last year I started a song a week. I was like, I'm gonna drop a song a week. And I'm still doing it now. I want to break the Guinness World Record for the most songs a week, which is 72 weeks. I think I'm at like 63 right now. But
Okay.
and again, by doing that, like I lost the expectation of songs, because so many artists, when we make songs, we love them. Like I love every song I make. And I used to be like, this is the one. This is it. Every new song's the one. I'm like, bro, this is it.
Mhm.
And I think that's also like an artist's biggest death is what you think's cool, like doesn't mean it's cool, like doesn't mean it's not cool, but like the people decide what is a hit. And what I found, like there's been songs where I was like, I don't even know if I want to drop this, but whatever. And it's like that song that's doing the most plays every week, the one I wasn't gonna drop, But just recently again, I've kind of, I think for the longest, like I was really like like last year, like my New Year's resolution goals, I was like, I want to have this amount of listeners and this amount of followers and this and that. And it's like everyone is on their own journey, but you see, I know so many people that have 1 million monthly listeners, but they can't sell the tickets that I just sold on my tour. Like they will have
Mhm.
no one there. So I think I'm finding peace and just like, I just want everything of mine to be so real. Like, because that's what I've tried to already start with. And like my core fan base is all real. Like I don't have like bot followers. I could easily like buy whatever, go do Instagram marketing ads and blow my account up and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, like it's not real. I don't want to look at that number and be like, how is it I have 500,000 monthlies, but like I can't sell 100 shows to this, 100 tickets to the show. Like,
Mm.
so I think, I don't know. I go on like 1 million different points when I talk, but
No, you're
I
fine.
think I'm just trying to find peace on, I took away again every expectation of music and I just do music because I love it. And I have
Mm.
ideas because I love it. I'm not like, I want to make a music video because I love it. I had it in my brain, not because I'm like, yeah, people are going to love this.
Right. Right.
So, and just start focusing on
Mhm.
like different things too. So,
Yeah, yeah, man. I think it's important, for us to just, do what you love and love what you do, right? For yourself, man, putting the love behind your art and your craft. It's extremely important, for the artist that does it for all the wrong reasons, they're gonna continue to kind of hit those brick walls and those stumps. And not maybe surpass a certain point that they want, but that's also because internally they don't really want it, right? They're just really doing it all for the wrong reasons, essentially. And I think that's the way to live life, man. We have one life, live it to the fullest, man, and doing what you love is the most important thing about it. And being able to express yourself in that art form, in that creative form, is very vital, especially now in the times that we're living in, man, and just how certain things are. I think just following your heart goes and your passion is the way to do it. And I think you're on that path, man. And that journey for you is a continuous thing. And you're again, it's just it's gonna be those ups and downs moments and those times that you get off tour and you kind of have that time to decompress,
yeah,
readjust and kind of reevaluate certain things, put certain things into place, and then bam, you're off to another tour before you even know it.
yeah.
So for you, my next question would would be, how do you define success, personally, and professionally?
That's a great question. I was actually just also, I'm always weirdly thinking things, but I said this yesterday, actually. It was like, why is it that, as an artist, if I walk up, or even when I was on the come up or something, when I walked up to someone, I'm like, I'm an artist, right? It was like, oh, how many followers do you have? How many this do you have? How many that do you have? It's like, if I walked up to you and said I'm a plumber, you wouldn't be like, how many toilets have you plunged? Like, how many,
Right.
you got a business? Like, people would just be like, oh, sick. I think it's so hard. What we do is like, in order to be an artist, you have to have there's like a certain barrier that people expect that you have. Like, that doesn't mean, like, I got a dog hair on me, bro. But it doesn't mean just because I don't have Drake's numbers that I'm not an artist. Because, and again,
Right.
I obviously don't know what Drake does in his free time, but I could probably guarantee you I work harder than 90% of artists do, That doesn't mean that because I don't have 20 million people that I'm not an artist, So success to me, I think I'm already successful because I'm not done. I'm not done, but in a sense, like I've already done what I said I was gonna do, and in a sense, obviously I still have major goals that I haven't done, but like the high school me would be like, bruh, like, yeah, you did it. You know what I'm saying? And everyone in my parents, the high school naysayers, like everyone around me, like there's no one that can look at me and be like, oh yeah, he's not legit. Like I already surpassed like all the naysaying, and I already proved everyone wrong in a sense. But I think for me this year is, for the longest I thought, oh, I just need that one song, or I just need this one moment, or I just need this one thing. And it's like, realistically, in the world we live in now, there's just too many people making music, And it's not as easy as just making a video anymore and your song blowing up and you becoming humongous. So I already think I think even when I was 13, like I always felt like I was famous, but no one else knew I was, So honestly, what I would want for true success is after I perform on SNL, that'll be my successful moment. But also just being able to live with all my friends, and if we woke up and said, y'all want to go to Bahamas tomorrow, that we'd be like, let's pop out,
Yeah.
Just having a free life with all my friends would be like the most successful thing.
So like what role does your family play in like happiness right now? Because I hear you talking about like your friends and like how your parents were supportive growing up, but like how important is it, like is their success, is your success like to them, like have they ever like expressed those type of things to you these days?
So my friends are like my everything. Like I wouldn't be able to do life without my friends. I feel like my friends are my family, that's like the family you get to choose,
Right, yeah.
People in your family, I'm like, if I saw them at the grocery store, I'm like, I don't even want to talk to y'all. Like,
Yeah,
y'all are,
I get you.
we're on different waves, But my friends, 3 of them been there since high school. Like we were on this journey from the start, since freshman year high school. And my whole life, I just knew that I like was put on this earth for a different reason, right? And I always knew my mindset was not like anyone else's. Like I was 13 saying like, I'm gonna be famous, and it's like, for what? You suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I always knew I wanted to show my friends that same life. Like I almost felt like, and it was stupid of me, but it was put a lot of pressure on me, but I think I gave myself the task of like, I was like the savior almost. Like I had to get us out. I had to get us out, because I knew at the time, like everyone, how we're raised as like humans and stuff. It's like very, like we said, stick to your stuff, go on the normal route, go to school, get a job, get married,
right.
keep working. But so basically, like my friends, every tour we're on, like my friends are with me the whole time. My DJs, my best friend since high school. My audio guy, best friend since high school. My older brother, just my best friend too. And obviously, I met some like other best friends that are just music. I found from music, but yeah, without them, like I just like I don't feel like it'd be fun, And I see so many artists, like so many artists I've toured with, like they'll be in the green room just sitting by themselves, and like their whole team is just people that work for them, not their friends. And I'm just like,
Right.
that would be terrible. Like when we go on tour, it's literally like, yeah, we get to perform every night, but it's like a vacation. It's like a friend's vacation for a month long. Like it's the best time ever. Like every day we just wake up with each other and we're messing around. So I couldn't do it without my friends. I wouldn't want to do it without my friends. Basically everything I do, I try to correlate my friends into it. And I want them to be a star just like I want to be a star.
Yeah. Wow, man. I love that too, man. That, that's amazing, that you have that soul tribe, because like you said, it's like that your friends are essentially, they become family, they become an extension of that family, and then your soul tribe. And then, to just be able to bring them on board with you, man, and travel, you guys, create new moments, new memories, new experiences. I think that's wonderful, man. That you've been blessed and been able to put yourself in a position to be like, brother, let's go. It's time to hit the road again. Let's go. And create that excitement, man. I think that's awesome. And as we get ready to wrap it up, my last question for you on my end, would be when it's all said and done, and that's it. What do you want people to remember you by? And what's your message, your overall message that you want everybody to know about yourself?
I love that. Thank you.
Here's the podcast.
I like it. I think I used to like question so many times, like when I'd be sad and stuff, and I'd be like, why am I still struggling? Like, why, if this is like supposed to be my purpose and stuff, like, why am I still struggling? And I know, but what I want, I think what my journey will show when the time is that I never gave up. And I want to show anyone, like, I feel like I'm like the perfect example of like the guy that started with nothing. Like, it wasn't like I had a fantastic voice, it wasn't like I had flows that were crazy. I didn't have bars that were stupid. Like, I feel like my whole journey, I just want to inspire people to do whatever they want to do, whether that is to be a plumber or be a teacher or whatever it is. Doesn't have to be music related, but to truly inspire people to understand, like, anything you want to do is hard. Like, it's obviously so easy to see someone blow up and be like, oh, they did it, but I just want to be a staple for anyone that's like struggling, to be like, yeah, he's motivating and he did what he did, and it's almost just, I can do that too. So I just want to inspire people to follow their dreams, because I see so many people in life settle for just the worst, like, we only have one life, whether that's in a relationship. I see people dating people they don't love. Like, I see people be in a situation they don't want to be in, and it's like, well, I just got to do it. Like, I can't get out. Like, I want everyone to want the best for themselves and to reach for it, because we only have one life. It's stupid to be sitting doing something you hate your whole life.
I know that's right.
Yes, indeed.
And as I approach my last question, and it's a question that we actually ask every guest that comes on the show at the end. And I noticed that you mentioned earlier that you were spiritual, and I thought that like really raised a flag in my head. I'm like, oh wow, like we're really on board and on track with an alignment in the conversation. So the question is, what does spirituality mean to you? I understand that it can mean multiple things depending on who you are and how you think and how you view this thing. But what does spirituality mean to you?
It's deep, bro. It's real deep, Jimmy. But I believe that there's a God. I believe that everyone has a purpose on this earth. I believe that you were made to do one specific thing. Even like sometimes people live their whole life, they don't know what it was for, but they did it, right? And that's just people's journey. Like, sometimes you don't even know that you just saved someone's life or something, But to me, being spiritual is I just trust in who I was told I should be. And throughout, like, even through the ups and downs, I'm grateful for every situation I'm in, because I also know that sometimes you really got to go to the darkest hole to even start seeing the light, Like, sometimes you got to be knocked down. So also, like, a lot of times when bad things happen, it's like, that's honestly about to be the biggest power up right there. So to trust spiritual is like trusting everything that happens in life, and know that even like when I broke up with my girl, like I was like so sad and depressed for like a year and a half. And I'm like, what is this actually for? Like, what was the reasoning for this? And looking back, like, that whole thing made me like push to be a better artist for myself. And that's when I was like, I'm doing the song a week. Like, I'm doing these TikToks. Like, I'm doing these tours. Like, I've dropped like 102. And there will be people that are artists that don't even drop 20 songs their whole life, So spiritual to me is just trusting and very much understanding like the journey and appreciating the journey.
Love that.
I love that, man. And before I wrap up, I just want to say, man, continue to keep being that light that you are to individuals, and people who, look to, get inspiration. And like you said, whether it's in music, business, whatever aspect it is, if it's that light and that love that they're searching for when they come across you, they will find it. Continue to keep killing it, man. Rock out as well. Continue to be the great evolved version of yourself, my brother. And absolutely, that is all the time that we have for today. This is your boy Joshua Silva.
Y'all, it's MoonLander. I appreciate it, man. I had the best time with these fellas.
It's Jimmy Levar, and this is the online experience.
Online.
Let's go.